everybody. I'm Mattie again. I would like to take a moment to appreciate the rolling hills of Appalachia, to appreciate the peaks and hollers, crevices and landscapes, and million shades of green that can be seen if one stands atop a mountain and looks out. I would like to appreciate the arts of the region in every possible way that Appalachian art can be defined, and appreciate the artists representing their homes. Then I would like to appreciate the people, the small but tight-knit communities that exist, the air of tolerance that existed for different nationalities and skin colors here in this region, far before any other place in the modern day. The great pride that so many people take in the area and how that is expressed. And then I would like to appreciate the resilience and perseverance and true grit that has been shown by the people of Appalachia over and over and over again. But from there I would like to take a moment to recognize why those people had to be resilient and persist through thick and thin so many times. To recognize a struggle that has persisted for a century and a half between the people in their land and people who are not of or from the land, but want what it has to offer. I would like to acknowledge the history of treachery that mars the heart of this place, the past filled with deception and stolen land, and a new age slavery. I would like to recognize the towns and communities that were built up for the sole purpose of working the coal fields, and then dropped, abandoned to rot and wither away when the coal was gone. I would like to acknowledge the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of workers whose lungs have been blackened by the dust from the mines due to poor working conditions given by the companies. And I would like to recognize the terror, overall, that has been forced upon these people in making them choose between environment and economy, being able to provide for family or have a healthy life. It's not my intent here to bring depressing news or unpleasant information, but rather to share some of the things I learned on this trip, and those dark bits of information played a huge role in the things that we learned and studied, as did the stories and tributes about and for those that persevered through it all. Which brings me to an article we read early on in the trip, entitled, "What is Education For?" This article made quite a few points, including the illusion that learning can only be done in a classroom, and that the sole purpose of education is upward mobility. But the article also made the point that knowledge carries with it a commitment, that knowledge carries with it a responsibility to see that it is used, and used well in the world. This idea of a contract has boggled my mind and made me truly reflect on my experience with the Field Academy. And it has made me ask myself what I consider one of the hardest questions I've ever had to face. Can I know what I know now and do nothing? And the answer is no. When a long train of abuses and usurpations put forth the conditions to reduce our people under absolute despotism, it is our right, it is our duty to ward off such scoundrels and provide new guards for future security. Those are the words, with slight alteration, from the Declaration of Independence, and hold an idea that is, or should be, at the heart of being an American, or even a citizen of the world. And so I feel a responsibility to uphold those values. After having seen a man, Larry Gibson, devote his entire life to protecting the mountains and people and nature around him, I knew what it looked like to uphold those values. I saw this as well in Jen's in-laws, Reese and Kathy, when they stood outside a congressional hearing rallying support for the cause of health and justice in their area. I saw in our travels that every community has problems, and some people are willing to stand up for what is right, and that was absolutely inspiring. And I saw that there is still a place for people like that in other communities, and in my community. And I realized that my place is among the ralliers and among the supporters, and working for justice. So being here in Appalachia has opened my eyes, has inspired me to strive for a new way of living. The people here have given me a new perspective on how to interact with the world around me. And though I cannot stay and work for the justice here, I can in my own town and area. I can get to know on a personal level the people who live where I live, and get to know their struggles intimately, and perhaps find legal or social ways to make changes to those problems. And I would feel ashamed if I failed to do so. So what have I learned here? I learned that I must speak the truth and for what is right, even if my voice shakes, and I must stand for what I believe in, even if my knees wobble. And that with effort and time, the world can be changed and be better and become a better place, and that I hope to be there to help.